You're listening to the Unnamed podcast, hosted by Midnight Lunatic. And here is Midnight Lunatic.
Hello, Midnight Crew, and welcome to a very special episode of Unnamed Podcast. Yes, we are back full force. I took that week off. It was a pretty weird week, to be honest, not to have an episode up, but we are back to regular scheduled programming, and today's episode is going to be a very, very special and very different episode than what we have been doing in the past. I am actually having some guests on today's show, so be excited for that. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different things, different topics. We're going to try to shy away from the negative things in the world right now. We're going to focus on a lot of the positives and things that we're excited for, and hopefully you guys are excited for too. So with that being said, let's get started with Fact of the Week.
It's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's time for the Fact of the Week.
And that fact is video games have been proven to be more effective method of overcoming depression in teens than counseling does. That's crazy. That's crazy to hear. For me, I love video games, and the first topic we're going to get into is video games. You guys have all seen or maybe heard of the PS5 reveal that happened not too long ago. And this is a perfect time to bring in my guest.
I'm Brandon, known as Mr. Silent on games.
Yes. Mr. Silent
Hey,
is my uncle. And we also have...
Hey, what's up? I'm Matt, MDR Productions, Matt Modified.
Yes, another great friend of mine. And today we're going to be talking about the PS5. How'd you guys like that reveal that we had a couple days ago?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I feel like the general consensus seemed to be very mixed. You had your percentage of people that just loved it through and through, and then you had everybody that was kind of making fun of the aesthetics behind it. I get that it's kind of like a different look to the system than what everybody's used to, but man, people were rough on it. I felt it looked very futuristic.
Yes, I do like the look.
Very different than what we've seen. Yeah, but man, people were bashing it.
Oh yeah, they turned it into a toothbrush. They turned it into all sorts of things.
I mean, we've seen the memes everywhere. They're blowing up right now.
The internet has no chill when it comes to the new consoles coming out.
I think the funniest one I've saw is the fridge being the Xbox, and the modem being the PS5. I think that one's like the most hilarious one I've seen.
Yeah, I saw the one where somebody was like showing like the new Xbox, and it was like a PC tower, and then they had like a glass table on the top of it, and then like the PlayStation was on top of the table that was on top of the computer that was supposed to be the Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Xbox does have a weird design though, because it's just a
box.
Basically
it's just,
a brick.
Yeah. Like,
you're used to seeing the traditional ones that can just lay flat. This one's a box.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could lay it sideways, but it's still the same shape. PlayStation has a little bit more curves, I really like the way the PlayStation looked.
The curves. It's all about the curves for me. I like it. I like the design. It looks really futuristic.
I especially love the digital edition of the PlayStation. That's the one I'll be picking up when it comes out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. PlayStation or Xbox. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys gonna go Xbox, PlayStation? I'm gonna go PlayStation. You already said you're gonna go PlayStation. Matt, what do you think?
Uh, I mean, I kind of briefly told Brandon that the other day. I mean, for me, I'm always getting these consoles way after the fact. So, like, PS4 is super new to me still. I never had a PS4 when everybody else had one, and I just, I got one, thankfully, but from Brandon. He hooked me up, last year sometime
Mhm.
with it, and like I haven't had a PlayStation before that since the PS2, and I lost the PS2 in Katrina. I didn't take that with me, so I lost that. So that, for me, I mean, while the PS5 is going to be all fine and good, I'm okay with having to wait for it. I'm not really making a jump to either one of the new consoles. Unfortunately, I mean, I'll take it in
Mhm.
and see all the all the cool games and stuff. But for me right now, I don't personally have like the uncontrollable urge to just have to
Right.
have it kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and for me too, like I'm still debating on, when pre-orders are up and going, if I want to pre-order it or not. I might hold off on it, but I might pre-order it if the right game comes with it.
Yeah. I was telling Matt the other day. I was like, he might get one. He might get one because I always like to pre-order the special editions if it's a good special edition one. So,
Yeah, I mean, and with the games,
and then I always end up having multiples of the PlayStation. So,
yeah, I don't know how you manage to do that all the time. But the games that come out, I mean, Resident Evil, what was it called? The Village.
yeah,
That one looked intense.
yes. Yeah, I was excited for that. I didn't even realize it was Resident Evil till you guys told me, and I was like, oh, I must have missed it because I was at work
Yeah,
watching
it
the
said
reveal.
like
So
at the very end, like as soon as it said the Village or whatever, it showed on the bottom a Resident Evil collection or something like that. So it's part of the Resident Evil series. Another game I was excited about was the Gran Turismo. I think that would be fun. I mean, I like Gran Turismos in the past, and just the way like the look of the game and like the sounds of the car, it was just amazing. It might
I
have just
was
because I was wearing headphones, so it could have been sounding better, but it would just looked amazing.
yeah, I was a real big fan of the Hitman 3.
Yes.
I've loved all the Hitman, so I was real
Yeah,
excited for that one.
yeah. I didn't even see any of like the hype behind it. I kind of saw the summed up version of everything in like an article or something, but I never actually went through and watched the footage. But I'm a huge fan of the Hitman
Hmm.
games too. They got really hard. They got super super difficult as they progressed because man, the last few of them have been
It
man.
really it starts
Mm-hmm.
making you really like strategize your movements.
And that's the thing.
Yep.
I'm terrible at being stealth. I am absolutely horrible. Like I go in and just mow down everybody in there. Like I am so bad at like trying to sneak and crap. I can't do that. Like I always knock something over or something. I just can't be stealth. That's
Hmm.
why I was never like a Rainbow Six fan or any of those games where you always had to be stealth. I think Assassin's Creed too, right? Most of them, I think, except towards the end or something, you had to be
Mm-hmm.
stealth all the time.
Well, I've never really been too big into the Assassin's Creed series. I think the last one I played was like Black Flag, um, and even then, like I only got like 20 minutes into the game before I was like, ugh.
I think I bought that one, but I did one of those things where I usually do, and never opened it out of the package. So I think it's still sitting on the shelf in the
Yeah, for
package.
people that
Oh,
was
wow.
listening, Brandon gets all these games that come out, right, and for months and months, maybe even years, leaves them in the packaging. Never once takes it out. Never once plays them.
I like I said, I still haven't played the Fallout, the last one, and besides the one time I played with you, and that
Fallout
was it.
76. It's a good game. I really enjoy 76. I know they just did the huge NPC update for it too. I still haven't checked it out, but it was a good game whenever I used to play.
Yeah, I love the Fallouts. The Fallouts were Fallout 3 and New Vegas were the best ones, but I
Yeah,
love them. But I still never played though. Besides the
New
one time,
Vegas was
the
definitely my favorite Fallout.
See, with like for me, I love everything about Fallout, but for whatever reason, I just never could really get into it. I like the whole post-apocalyptic thing. I like the whole like, um, the building of a like a, I guess a resurrected society kind of thing, where it's very like, after everything goes to
Right.
hell in a handbasket kind of thing. And I like all of that, but for whatever reason I could never get into it. And the first one I tried to play was, what was the one where you do the, like, you have your own like little like town kind of regulated camp type thing? It was one of the most recent.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, I think it was 4. And I was just like, man, I don't want to be doing any of this. Like, I don't want to have to be doing all that. And I heard later that you don't have to technically play the, the kind of camp type thing. It's
Yeah.
not required, but I didn't know that until after. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm over it.
No, you can always have the option to build on 4. You didn't really have to. You could have just played, but it's always fun for me to get into building my camp and whatnot.
Yeah, that was something I never really got into. Like, I own the game. I own Fallout 4, but I never got into the game as much as I did like New Vegas or 76. It wasn't my taste, I guess, of Fallout.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are excited about the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. Last time I played a Spider-Man game was...
I think it was back in like PS2 days. Is the last time I played.
Yeah, that was the last time I played a Spider-Man game. Was back when I had a PS2.
Because this new one that just came out not too long ago, I never played that one, but I heard good things about it. But for me, like, I'm not a fan of like the superheroes, so like, it's just not a game for me.
Yeah.
Is that the new Spider-Man's based off of the latest Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man, like same universe of Spider-Man?
I'm not too sure.
No, because I thought I had read something that said something along the lines of, what was it? That the same character, Miles. I thought he was the Spider-Man in this new game rather than Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think Miles.
Yeah.
I think he is the.
Yeah, Miles Morales. Yeah. So yeah, he's the one that. He's the Spider-Man in this one. Okay. Yeah, I just looked it up too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I thought for the PS5, with their team up with Rockstar for GTA 5, they're putting so much work into GTA 5, and they had Red Dead, and they just let that die. Like, they had so much potential with Red Dead, and they're still supposedly adding on to the GTA 5 for the PS5.
Yeah, it was surprising to see that they did that with GTA 5 and not Red Dead, because I would much prefer playing Red Dead over GTA. I just think they need to add more stuff to Red Dead.
Yeah, I agree, because we've talked about this countless times just outside of the podcast, where we've said, like, there's opportunity for everything, and they keep giving you like these little silly, like, pointless modes and stuff. Like, what about why can't you just posse up and rob a bank? If you can get away with it, you should get the money that you got away from, with it, or robbing trains for, ammo, or any number of things that they put on there, money, gold, or being allowed to travel down in the mines and actually mine gold. This is all stuff that was like happening during this era. So why not give us those kind of things that would be new in a game like that? They're just choosing to not keep it interesting. And I don't understand how you would build a whole universe around a game and then just like slowly, like Brandon said, just kind of let it die like that. They seem to have a track record like that.
I remember when GTA 5 first came out, and there was nothing to do for it for months. Like, I'm talking months. Like, all you could really do was like the story mode and the campaign mode, and that's pretty much what they wanted you to focus on. I remember when GTA like came out too, like GTA Online wasn't even a thing yet. And then when they finally introduced it, there wasn't anything to do on it. It was just like cruise around.
Yeah, I think for the people that like to play GTA, it's cool that they get to have it free if they have one on PS4, and they get $1 million or whatever it is a month for a month every month till the PS5 comes out. But at the same time, when the PS5 comes out, whoever gets it, they're gonna have to rebuy the GTA 5 for
Yeah, and
PS5.
that's
So
stupid. So stupid.
Oh man, it's so bad, dude. You know how many times I've purchased the game?
Yeah.
I had it for the 360 was the first one, right? Didn't it come out for the
The
360
360
first?
and the PS3.
Yeah, because I had it on the 360, and then I bought it again when they hyped up the the up res on the Xbox One. You know, the fact that when you're aiming, you got that really cool depth of field perception
Yeah.
and stuff, and they made it feel like you had to have that. So I bought it again, and then then I also have it, borrowed from Brandon on the PS4. So it's like, why buy it again? Like, God, they're terrible.
Yeah,
at
and
that.
I mean, they didn't really say if they were gonna give it free with the PS5, but I doubt they
highly
will.
doubt it too.
They'll probably make something with GTA 5 Special Edition PS5. Who knows? But since they're the main team up with PS5 right now, that they got the first feature in their announcement.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
with the next PS5 like update, you think they're gonna actually release the price and the actual date of release for it, and maybe like a couple more games?
Hopefully. I think right now what everyone's suspecting is the usual around Christmas time release. The end of the year.
Well, I've been hearing rumors that they actually want to release it a little bit ahead of like Black Friday time, just so that stores can stock up on it, and when Black Friday comes around, they'll have enough in stores so that they won't be sold out. They're not gonna have it on sale, of course, but they'll have enough for people to actually go and buy it and not have to worry about it selling out. Which I'm pretty sure it's still gonna sell out.
Oh, easily. Yeah. There's no way it won't. Especially if they're hyping it up during like a holiday time. You already know it's going to be pandemonium in the stores, man. It's
Yep. I think what was I going to say? Shit, I don't know. It left me. It left me, guys.
Okay, so you remember when the PS5 like was first announced, and they had a bunch of like different concepts of what it was going to look like, and then they completely like changed it around. But then again, none of those concepts were actually confirmed. But remember when the PS5 looking like V thing came out, and people were like going crazy over that?
Weird vent looking thing that had all the vents around it. Yeah, I didn't like that. I wasn't
and
a fan of that.
People were calling it like a ball warmer. They were like, I can put my ball sack like in between that and warm it up. Like it was weird the way people were thinking, and I was like, why would you even want to do that? Like, it's so stupid. But
yeah, I didn't like the design of that one. It didn't look the greatest. It looked like kind of looked like an old retro game done bad.
Yeah, I'm glad that they changed the look, and I'm actually in love with the way the final product came out. I think the thing I'm excited about is the controller. The controller looks freaking amazing. The only concern that I have is that that little built-in mic. I know it's going to be shitty. I know you're not going to be able to hear shit. Yeah. There's going to be a big echo. Like it's just going to create some chaos.
Yeah. So what if you have two controllers?
Yes.
And are both mics going to be on?
Or like,
Yeah, and you figure it's probably going to pick up a lot of like game controller noise too, with it being on the controller like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear everybody's like, while you're playing, you're just gonna be hearing like this
and
the
a bunch
whole
of
time.
like buttons being pressed. Yeah, that's my big concern about the controller. But other than that, I like the way that it looks. I like that it's a little bit bigger too, a little bit bulkier.
Yeah, what I wonder is, you know how they showed all the little extra stuff like the camera and all that. Is that gonna be a bundle option, or are you gonna have to buy all that stuff separate?
I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if maybe initially they may sell it all separate, and you may see a bundle come a little down the line. But I don't know if they're gonna drop a bundle with all that stuff in it. They could.
Yeah.
It could cost a lot because they're adding all the extra stuff, but they possibly could do a bundle.
Well, I'm hoping to see more VR games come out with the PS5. I mean, I own a VR for the PlayStation, and on the PS4, there's not much VR games, so I'm hoping to see a little bit more VR games on the PS5, because I know they were saying that the PS VR is going to be compatible with the new PlayStation, so I'm kind of hoping to see more games with that.
Yeah. I saw. I don't know how true these articles were, but I saw a couple articles online. Some places are pre-ordering or have pre-orders open for PS5.
How
but
is that?
They're like, they have pre-orders for like $700. I'm like, well, they don't even know the price point yet, so how are you gonna make a pre-order for $700?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were guessing it's going to be around $500 to $600.
Oh, that's normal. That's their usual. What was the PS4
Yeah,
when
I
it
think
came out?
500. So yeah, and I think the Xbox was like 600.
Now I hope with the digital edition, they do not give it a small amount of memory. I hope they at least, not even 1 terabyte, at least 2 terabytes if it's going to be all digital, because then you're going to have to buy an external hard drive or upgrade your hard drive in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised though if they do have a very moderate sized initial hard drive though, and they kind of force you into the whole like external storage option type thing. Because I mean, before what the biggest size they've offered before was what?
The 1 terabyte on the PS4.
Terabyte? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, if you get the special
So,
edition, you can get a
mean,
2 terabyte, I believe. There's some special editions with 2.
Yeah. You definitely pay a special edition price though, for sure.
Yeah, I have I have my external 8 terabyte hard drive hooked up to my PlayStation, but that's not even halfway full, and I have every free game of the month practically on it. And
yeah, I want to upgrade my hard drive. I have the 2 terabyte, and like mine's already pretty much full, and I don't even have like every game that I have downloaded onto the thing. So I definitely want to upgrade.
I hope if they do release like if it's a lot of memory, at least 1 terabyte the lowest, and then that one could be say your cheapest price point of the PlayStation is the 1 terabyte, and then if you want say 3 terabytes, you pay a little bit more, $100 extra, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? They still need to release more details on it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Because when the PlayStation 4 first came out, it was barely 500 gigs, every single one of them. And then the 1 terabyte came out, and then they barely, 2 years ago, that they barely released the compatibility with the external hard drives, because you couldn't hook one up before.
So what are you guys thinking as far as like backwards compatibility? Like, you think it's actually gonna have it, or are we not gonna see it again?
My opinion, if it's based on things that they've done in the past, they're gonna do that whole like, if you want the old stuff, you pay for the old stuff again kind of.
Like are you talking like the PlayStation Now kind of stuff?
Yeah, because I mean that's what I think. Just because their track record's kind of shown that. I mean, they of course could go like a complete different direction and actually do what most gamers want, but usually I don't personally think that they'll do that unless they, like I said, it's a complete upset and they do a complete different thing, because they haven't done it at all, huh? As far as backwards compatibility, it's never been a thing. People's always asked for it. Yeah,
they did do backwards compatibility on the first gen PS3. You could play PS2 games.
Yeah, the big chunky version.
But that was it.
That's what it was. I thought there might have been one thing, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, so if they do add backwards compatibility, I think it'll be just up to the PS4 games.
I think they should do that, because as of right now, there's not a lot of games coming out, and not a lot of people are interested in the games coming out. And so if they were to do backwards compatibility, they would still have a reason for people to go buy the PS5 and still wait, till their game comes out that they're wanting, but still be able to play like all their PS5 or PS4 games.
Yeah, I think they should take a little note out of Nintendo's handbook, and maybe even if they don't want to do backwards compatibility,
Like
put downloadable
Mhm.
emulators on there so you can play the
Right.
old games, like the Nintendo Switch has.
Well, that's one thing I like about the Xbox is like the Xbox One was backwards compatible on most of the Xbox 360 games. Like for me, I owned the 360 and the Xbox One, and I sold my Xbox 360 because most of the games that I had on the 360 can be played on the Xbox One. So I was like, there's no point in me keeping my 360 if I can play all my games on my One. And so I got rid of my 360, kept all my games, and I still play them from time to time.
Yeah. Funny thing about that is, I owned a lot of 360s. I had never kept them. I would always buy them and be like, I'm gonna give it a shot again, and I'd get bored. No, I'll give it another shot. So I maybe owned like 5 360s. And
I was
sold
like
them
that
all.
with the Nintendo Wii. I'd buy one, play it for like Mario Kart, games, and then I get bored with it and then sell it, and then buy it again.
Yeah, I've had a couple of Wii's too.
Well, is there a game that maybe you guys are wanting to see for the PS5 coming up?
I don't know. A lot of people. I think a lot of people were excited for. They were hoping Rockstar would put out GTA 6, but Rockstar's still putting stuff into GTA 5. GTA 6 is years away. Years away.
It may be even changed from GTA 6 to like GTA VR by the time they finally decide to, that might be the VTR version, or VR version of GTA.
Hey, GTA VR would be
Yeah.
a sick game, though. I'd play the hell out of that.
Yeah.
It would be.
I would. I would hate to crash on a VR GTA, flipping that many times. I'd get sick.
But imagine going to like a strip club in VR, or like picking up a prostitute in VR.
Just any of it, even robbing
Robbing
like
a
a store
yes,
would
uh-huh.
probably be nuts. Like you're really doing it. You're like, you got the gun in the guy's face and shit. And it's like, what?
It would definitely be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nuts, man. I haven't been in anything VR immersive like that. Like I wanna be able to like whatever my hands do, the character's hands, do, and visually whenever you're moving, like that's what I want to see. That's something I'm more excited for. And I think I was telling, I don't know, one of you guys, who was it I was talking to? Was it Mike, or it might have been Brandon? About just saying like more or less I kind of want a really nice VR setup before I'm really interested in jumping into like a PS5.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah.
That I want a VR too. I want the Oculus whenever they go down in price, because it's ridiculous right now with everything going on. How overpriced they are. People bought freaking 5 of them and are selling them for $700 each.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
especially same with the Switch. Same with the Switch.
An Oculus is something that I want too, but at the same time, like I play with my PlayStation VR, and I notice that I get headaches when I move around too much, and that's kind of my biggest worry about getting an Oculus is because it's wireless. You could take it wherever, move whenever you want, like however you want to do it, and it worries me because I don't want to get the same type of headaches by playing with the Oculus for like 5 minutes, because then that just takes out the purpose of owning the VR. So that's my only, problem or fear that I have.
Yeah, and I've read where other people say it does initially take you some getting used to, because you're having these immersive goggles on for extended periods of time when you're playing stuff. So I've heard that it does take some getting used to if you do like run into feeling kind of nauseous and motion sickness type stuff from it.
Pops, what's that stuff called for motion sickness? I forget what it's called. that medication.
Well, it's only when I intensely move my head around. It's not so much like my arms or my body. It's whenever I move my head. Like whenever I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm fine. It's until I'm moving my head around that, like I can't do it. Like let's say I'm playing like golf. I have to like turn my head, look around, and all this stuff, and look down and up. Like that's where I get my headaches from. Or like playing like like I own like a home run derby VR game. Like looking around there, that gives me a headache also. But like Beat Saber and like zombie games, it doesn't do that to me. I can play them for like hours at a time and not get a headache.
Yeah, I wonder if for people that have that problem, if they pop a couple ibuprofen before, whatever, help them get through it. But
could, and it could be too because you wear glasses too, so that could play a factor in it too. The movement, and it might send your eyes all crazy.
Yeah,
or something.
I've thought about that also.
But as far as future PS5 games and excitement for, I really haven't seen any that excite me. What I hope they make in the future, a good open world cooperative zombie game or something of that sort.
Yeah, we really need one of those for sure.
Yeah, they really missed that on Days Gone. I think Days Gone would have been a way better game if they would have added multiplayer to it.
And the thing is, the way they advertised it, it seemed like it should have been a multiplayer game. Why would you have all that like awesome stuff and the fact that you can run from hordes and stuff like that, and then you can't play with someone else? Like that definitely was a big, somebody dropped the ball somewhere on that end, because I feel like that game would have been a lot more successful had they invested or made the choice. Because didn't it come out like Sony put the kibosh on that? Wasn't that what it was? Like they decided not to do multiplayer. It wasn't the developers.
Yeah, Sony said no for some reason to multiplayer.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would like to see, and I know it's probably nothing like it in the works, but for a next gen like PS5, I'd like to see a revamp of Dante's Inferno. That's like one of my most like favorite, like super kind of underrated to some degree. Not completely, but it is underrated a little bit, because for the time period that was on 360, and the graphics were insane in that game, and still pretty much are. I used to play it every so often. I've beaten it so many times. But I'd like to see that redone with some really like awesome graphics and really cool like Unreal Engine, and really, because they did awesome stuff with it back then. Now, the sky's the limit kind of thing on it.
Do you guys remember back on the PS3 days, there was a thing called like PlayStation Home, and it was kind of like this virtual, like kind of like VR chat, but like more like where you're just playing with a controller, not VR. It was like open world, like you had to talk to other people and like go to like different areas. I think it would be cool to like kind of bring that back, but add a little bit more things to do in it, and like a little bit more open world. Just for people to like, go on there and connect and chat, and then, just kind of makes it more easier to make new friends.
Yeah, and especially if indeed the main thing behind it is, the introduction of VR being more of a thing rather than like, how the other one had, PlayStation VR. This one being like, this is where VR gets real kind of thing. Like we did VR initially, but then now it's going to be like the things that can be done now are way more than what it was before.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys seen that movie, Ready Player One?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we're moving towards that direction with all the VR stuff. Like, that'd be cool to have your own character and be not the lazy part of it, like no jobs or anything. You just stay home and play all day. But like, that'd be cool to have that kind of in the future, which you never know. It could get there, where you have a suit where you're in the game and you feel everything in the game, even if you get shot. But it doesn't affect you in real life.
That would be really neat. I feel like, and I think I've told Mike that too before. Like, I really want the, and right now with VR coming down in price and stuff like that, the more available it's becoming, so it's coming down in price. But I feel like I would like to do like because I've never had the chance to use any kind of VR headset or anything like that, so I don't know what to expect. And the first thing I wanted to do was the thing where you kind of can like tightrope on the skyscrapers and stuff like that you always see people like, pushing people down or like pushing people when they're doing it and freaking them out. I want to do that too, because I'm not even somebody who's necessarily scared of heights, but I also don't do dumb stuff like that because I'm not trying to die. So I'd like to see what that's like and see the sensations that my brain believes this to be a real thing, because apparently you hear the wind blowing in your ears and like all this stuff while you're walking, and I want that to be the first thing that I get to experience that kind of thing and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, like you see those videos where people are wearing VR and they fall forward because they think they're falling in the game, and they just let themselves go in real life.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
Smash.
Well, before we run out of time here, I think now would be a good time to switch over to a little game of Would You Rather. Does that sound a little bit fun?
Yeah, Would You Rather is always fun.
All right, well, I'll start it off here. So, would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
That's an interesting one. Okay, read it one more time.
All right. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
I think I would want to see into my future, because that kind of directly impacts me. I feel like if I could see into somebody else's future but mine, then I would have to make the decision of if I should intervene in what possibly happens to them, kind of thing. So I feel like knowing that something's going to happen to them that they don't know, and if it ends up being something bad, I got to decide, like, do I just let that happen, or do I try to intervene because I know that it's going to happen? At least if it's me, like, I'm responsible for, myself. I don't have to be necessarily responsible for knowing someone else's something.
Yeah, I might choose 10 minutes into my own future. I would like to see what my future holds. But again, it's only 10 minutes. Like, if I'm just sitting at home, I know what I'm going to be doing in 10 minutes. It's the exact same thing I'm doing now. So, like, I don't know. If it was more time, maybe. But I'm still going to have to choose 10 minutes to my own future. I mean, I don't like... For me, I don't want to know about anyone's future. Like, anyone else's future. I just think it would be kind of weird.
What's your question there?
Oh, did we have some cutout? We had some technical difficulties there.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
So the question was, would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone else but yours?
Depends on what it is.
Like, I personally chose the 10 minutes into my own future.
I mean, yeah, I guess maybe if I was, I don't know, gonna play something that would win me something, and I knew the outcome was in 10 minutes, then I would see
like
10
if you were like
minutes
at a casino
future.
or something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotta be about to come up.
Yeah, a summary of what I said was, I said the same thing, like myself, just because I wouldn't want to see someone else's something happen to them, and I'd have to choose to either help them if it's something bad, or just let it happen because it's not happening to me, kind of thing.
All
Yeah.
right, so this is something that we talked about a little bit. Would you rather live in a virtual reality where you are all powerful, or live in a real world and be able to go anywhere but not be able to interact with anyone or anything.
Whoa. That's a good one. Read it one more
Would
time.
you rather live in a virtual reality where you are all powerful, or live in a real world and not be able, and be able to go anywhere and not be able to interact with anyone or anything? So basically, be in a VR where you're all powerful, or live in the real world and not be able to do anything.
For me, I think it'd have to be in the VR world, because if I'm living in the real world, there's no point in going everywhere if you can't interact with anything or anyone.
Okay, true. I might have to go with you there.
Yeah, I mean, if you can have power in a fictitious sense where you're not going to become somebody that doesn't know how to regulate said unlimited power, at least in a VR world, nobody's going to get hurt due to the fact that you have too much power if you were to wield it in an unethical way. So,
yeah.
At least, you know, if you're going to be a power-hungry, you know, person, I guess in a VR sense, it would probably be a better way to do it, because at least, you know, nobody else is really impacted. Nobody's really being hurt in that situation.
I mean, it might be cool to like see, you know, the world's, you know, in the real world. It would just suck that you can't like interact with people, you know, like let's say I want to go to Tokyo, like I can do that, you know, but like I won't be able to interact with anyone, so that kind of like upsets me. But at the same time, I think it would be cool to see all that stuff in the real world instead of like VR.
Yeah. I mean, interacting with the culture is a huge part of going to a different place, though. So if you can't interact with anybody, are you like really experiencing the culture? You may be experiencing the place, but like, are you really getting out of it what you would think? That's kind of what I think. Like, it's like, yeah, it'd be cool that you got to see Tokyo, but you didn't even get to experience Tokyo because nobody even knew you were there and you never interacted with anybody.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I got one. Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off your life?
Oh man, I mean, you're taking a hit either way. Like that's a year in jail off your life right there. But then I don't know, man.
I mean, being in jail for a year is almost like taking a year off your life. So I mean, I'd rather just lose the year. I don't want to be in a box for a year.
I'd see. Oh yeah.
I would.
You know?
Yeah, for me, I would lose a year off my life, because I mean, you never really know when you're gonna go. So
yeah, I'll go ahead and go with that one. I mean, I've experienced the other one, and it is not fun. So yeah, I would choose just take a year off my life.
Yeah. I feel like you're losing that year of your life anyway. So at least you're not having to go through all of what you're gonna have to go through being locked up. So, you know, I mean, you're not just losing a year of your life in jail. You're running into, you know, people trying to steal from you and people trying to hurt you, people trying to keep you in jail because they're stuck in jail. Like, like, there's no way. Just wipe the life and let's move on, kind of thing, or you know, the year rather. I got a good one. This one's kind of interesting. It's a little wordy, so I can read it more than once. Would you rather get tipsy from just one sip of alcohol and ridiculously drunk from just one alcoholic drink, or never get drunk no matter how much alcohol you drank?
Ooh.
So I'm gonna read it one more time. Would you rather... Yeah, hold on. Stupid page just advanced while I was looking at it. Would you rather get tipsy from just one sip of alcohol and ridiculously drunk from just one alcoholic drink, or never get drunk no matter how much alcohol you drink?
I would never get drunk no matter how much.
I'm gonna have to go with that route too. I would rather go out and drink as much as I want and not have to worry about getting drunk. Okay, getting drunk is fine, but I just don't like the effects it gives you afterwards. I don't like that sick feeling that having to like throw up. I don't like that.
See, the thing that I look at though is if I were to go with the second one, what's the point of drinking alcohol at all then? Because I mean, you kind of
It kind of defeats
okay,
the purpose.
some people
Okay.
will say the taste. You know, some people will say, "Oh, I like the taste," but realistically, you drink because of how you
Right.
feel while you drink. You know, so I don't see a point of drinking alcohol if I'm not gonna get drunk, which is the same reason why I don't see the point of drinking like a non-alcoholic beer. Because while I love beer, I like the buzz I get from the beer on top of that I've acquired the taste. If you drink just a beer that tastes like beer, but then you don't get the buzz from it, it's like you're kind of like, why am I drinking?
But the question never says like you don't get buzzed.
But a question. Yeah, but a question to me would be like, okay, you never get drunk off however many beers, no matter what you drink, right?
Mm.
But does your body still react to it? Like, what if you drink too much and you don't get drunk feeling? Will you mess yourself up and end up over drinking?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'd probably give yourself alcohol poisoning because you had no cutoff. You were just sitting there, just putting it back, and then your body's still reacting to it.
Hey, you're
so,
making me
yeah.
second guess my decision here.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how you know would you rather's are good when they make you kind of like see both sides and then you're not quite sure which is the way you should go with sometimes. That's a good one.
All right. Well, let's see. I got a good one here. Would you rather have unlimited amounts of material you want to build a house, but you have to build the house all by yourself, or have a famed architect design and build you a modest house?
Build it myself.
Okay.
I don't know personally if I'm capable of building my own house.
But if you have unlimited supplies, you can mess up as many times as you want until you get it correct.
True. Yeah. There's no real point of having some famed whoever if it's just gonna be just a modest house if that's not what I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the unlimited resources.
Okay. Yeah.
What
I think
about
I might have
what
to.
about you?
I might have to build my own house also. I mean, I might not know what I'm doing at first, but like you said, if you have unlimited resources, you can just tear it down and rebuild until you get it right.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a good one too. Brandon, did you have one?
Yeah, I have one right here. Would you rather have one real get out of jail free card or a key that opens any door?
Okay. I mean, if you had a key that opened any door, you know, then you would need to get out of jail free card because you'd just be able to get out anyway. Yeah, I'd probably pick that one.
Yeah, but what if the key leads to somewhere?
Yeah, but then you get. But what if you get out of jail? You're still wanted, so you're still gonna be back in jail. So I think I would go with the one get out of jail free card. And
yeah, I mean,
maybe,
with the get out of
if I have a key to get out, you know, it doesn't mean that they're not going to put me back in.
With the get out of jail free card, like you can go. I'm not saying anyone to do this. I'm not saying go rob a bank, but you can go rob a bank and use your get out of jail free card, wouldn't you?
I mean, if you knew you had one, you could do it that way.
I mean, you could rob as many banks as you want, because if you don't get caught, you don't have to use your get out of jail free card till you get caught.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So for me, it'd probably be the get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see how that one makes more sense, though. I'm thinking about it, because the other one, like I said, just because I have a key that could get me out doesn't mean that they're going to let me walk out of there.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Who's got it?
Yeah, I got the other one here. This one's kind of interesting. This one says, would you rather have one nipple or two belly buttons?
Probably one
I
nipple.
mean, for guys,
Yeah,
they're both pretty
so-
useless.
I mean, I don't need either one of mine. I could just get rid of them tomorrow, and I'd be okay with it.
You could stick 2 fingers in your belly buttons, so.
Yeah, I mean, and then having the one nipple makes it even more pointless than having the two that we got. So it's like,
I might go with the belly buttons.
Yeah.
but then like, we only have belly buttons because we had umbilical cords. So would we have 2 umbilical cords?
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, it's interesting.
you would have to have 2.
I mean, both are very pointless. Both are pointless. I mean, both serve no real purpose. But
Yeah, I'm still gonna have to go with belly buttons on this one.
I'm going with the one nipple.
yeah, I mean, it'll be one less nipple occupying space that I could get tattoos covering. So you know, works for me.
You can tattoo the extra nipple on.
Okay, but would the
Yeah.
nipple be like in the center of like your chest, or like would it be
That's
just on
the
one
thing, that's the
side?
thing. Where could it be? It may be different for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
yours might be in the middle of your chest. Mine might be down on my rib. You know,
Or what if everyone's just born with one nipple and it's normal?
right? And where would it be on everybody?
Exactly.
Would it be like, you know, either on the left or the right side, or be in the dead center, or be in the center, like where your belly button is? That'd be kind of weird.
Like what if the
What
belly
if
buttons were where your nipples are?
Your belly button, what?
Yeah. That'd be weird. Like everything was just backwards. That'd be weird.
Wow.
All right, well,
Really sometimes.
that's the way to end the episode here. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. It was fun.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we definitely have to make more plans in the future to do this. Everyone listening, I really hope that you enjoyed our conversation here, and it makes you, question what you would do. Would you rather have 2 belly buttons and 1 nipple, or, But anyways, we are out of here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Midnight Crew.
I really enjoyed it.
We will see you next week. I love you guys all. Remember, stay safe. We're still experiencing some things in the world, but hope this makes up for that and gives you like a good laugh in your week. But anyways, guys, we're out. Love you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.